like to see at least one or two mayoral appointees on that commission from each side. That way they get their marching orders, they know what to do, they know what a timeline is. In addition to those one or two mayoral appointees, or have the whole thing appointed by me, that would be great. Then it would get done. But, you know, simply because it has to have some drive and direction and an end date and end goal, I'd like to have some mayoral appointees there. Secondly, the commission has 120 days to do its work. If you give a commission 120 days to do its work, it's going to take 120 days to do its work. I'd like to have that cut down to like 3 or 4 hours. So just, you know, but again, it's full of potential stumbling blocks, and it's a piece of legislation, it's a law that's hardly ever used. So in our situation, if the law is hardly ever used, try and tailor it to a situation that really needs it.
You mentioned that we had a bond rating in the 1980s. Don't rub it in. Almost 30 years that you've been dealing strictly with cash, but you have no debt.
Yes, we do have debt. Okay. But we don't have much. And this gets to another technical thing about bankruptcy. Bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is for people with a lot of debt. And companies with a lot of debt. And cities with a lot of debt. They refer to Detroit. High-profile bankruptcy came out of it. We can do that too! Whoever compares East Cleveland to Detroit is a damn fool. There is no comparison between a city that used to have over 1 million people and a city that has 16,000 people. There's no comparison. And when it comes to their responsibilities to their retirees, Ohio cities have the Ohio retirement systems. Once an employee retires from us, they are the property of the pension system. The city has no more obligations to that employee financially. In the case of Detroit, they pay their employees' pensions. The monthly retirement check that the Detroit employees get, Detroit pays them. I couldn't believe it. And they also pay their health care. I couldn't believe that either. Those are tremendous future liabilities. For that, yeah, you need bankruptcy. But for a city that doesn't have that, hasn't had a credit rating, only got a couple of loans, our debt, for the most part, is because we bought stuff that we didn't pay people for. Which is bad. Which is bad. You know, unless, you know, you don't want to get paid for the things you gave.
The real question is, how do you decide to merge with Cleveland and put it out to see if other cities may be interested? If the debt is very low, they're not taking on a lot of liability there. And you have investors to use with land and housing and larger company already.
I think Valley's just far away.
Yeah, well, you know, we could build the bridge. We could build the bridge. We got the county funded, they built the bridge, and we could walk to there, and we'd be technically connected. First, you have to merge with a contiguous community.
There are some parameters.
Yeah, there are. It has to touch. So the only ones that really touch in our case are Cleveland Heights and Cleveland. You know, naturally, it would be a decent fit to have my neighborhood sent to Cleveland Heights. I'll be honest with you. The Forest Hill neighborhood, it would be a decent thing to have that become part of Cleveland Heights. It really fits. But in reality, you know, there's some social justice elements. You know, I don't want to do that. And I'm the mayor. But the people could certainly make that choice, but I would just argue against it. East Cleveland, as a whole, needs massive investment. it needs to take advantage of economies of scale. The economy of scale, for whatever you may think about the city of Cleveland, the economy of scale in this region is Cleveland. We are blessed and fortunate, given our circumstances, that we do border Cleveland. If we didn't, it would be tough to merge with another smaller city simply because of the economies of scale. Just think about, cities get used to serving their geographic area. They get used to serving their population and know what they're dealing with. The city of Cleveland has a population of roughly 400,000, just shy of 400,000. They absorb 16,000. Not a big deal. Cleveland Heights has about 40,000. If 40,000 were to absorb 16,000, huge deal. With $100 million of delayed infrastructure repairs. So I hope that kind of gives you a sense of what we're going. Bruce.
I like the way you started off your presentation. We've all heard of merger, but very few of us really understand what's involved in the merger. I think the same is true of municipal finance.
Yeah.
Is there, my question is there a second path toward a merger? I mean, we've all heard of the fiscal emergency, but I certainly don't really know what that means. Is there a way for the state to compel a merger and bypass the system that you just pointed out?
Interesting question. I'm glad you brought that up. To my knowledge, well, I'll start this way. You see what happened in Detroit? There are other cities in California and things like that that have gone through bankruptcies. Very seldom do you hear about a state takeover. Detroit was about as close as it came. There is no emergency management provision in Ohio to do what was done in Detroit. The state laws are different. The state law that is required in order to make that happen just does not exist. And everybody's heard this phrase, home rule. Cities have home rule. Cities have charters and govern themselves with mayors and city councils by choice, set up 100 years ago. There is tremendous respect for that. Now, it's dwindling, but there's always tremendous respect for that when it comes to local self-governance in Ohio. So those are two of the reasons why those things, if they could have done it, Bruce, they would have done it already. And what I'm doing, quite frankly, Republicans dominate Ohio. As cruel and heartless and blood-sucking as Republicans are, that's a fact. That's not just my opinion, it's a fact. I don't think that they want to deal with the political perception that would be created by having a Republican takeover of an unfortunate African-American city in this region. I think that I'm doing us all a favor by working diligently to inform a community and hold responsible discussions designed to just put all the facts on the table, and then at the end of that discussion, leave a choice of what people want their future to be and to merge the city, put us out of business. Because in the end of it, for all the sniping and all of the backstabbing, treachery, murder, politics is really a contest of ideas. And it's the idea that we can remain what we are and have conditions deteriorate, or we can restructure, reconfigure ourselves and join an economy of scale where things will be at least stable for the future. So again, going back to your question, state takeover versus local, I like the idea that people in America, in a city that is financially distressed and of a certain socioeconomic status, can and will hold responsible discussions and come to a conclusion that is hopefully rational. And now when Ralph stands up, that's it, man, we're done.
Let me just say, Bruce, I think you and Mark need to walk the mayor in your office, and he's sugarcoating way too much. Oh, man. You need to work on that truth. Truth telling here, because you really sugarcoating.
Yeah, what a bastard.
Man, you are fantastic. My heart goes out to you. I am truly inspired by Gary. He's facing one of the most difficult tasks that any public official could ever face, and he's going after it with a sense of humor and a sense of inevitability. And I want to say this, Gary, we've had some great leaders speak here. Akram Boutros, Frank Jackson, Toby Cosgrove, but I think you are the best we've had in 10 years. So thank you so much. And furthermore, I am a blood-sucking Republican, and anything I can do to help you, call me. And if you get ever run for other public office, I'll write a check for you. And not even if we don't agree on half of it. So once again, thank you so much, Gary, and thank you so much for being here. And please join us in, and who will be speaking?
We will have Chris Conley.
Yes. Yes, Mark.
Actually, for these leaders to bring the highest potential conflict that they might fit into this?
Yes. Good question, Mark. By all means, if you happen to know of another high-level or medium-level leader, or someone you would like to encourage to be a high-level or medium-level leader, please invite them, bring them along, and we'll be offering the same discounted rate as we always do for those extra guests. Thank you so much. Yeah, Dan Maltrip will be here in May. Yes, no, maybe. Okay. Thanks again. Class dismissed.